You have to look at everything like everything is borrowed. Nothing in dunya belongs to you, not even your life. Nothing belongs to you. So at the times of hardship, I like to look at it as if nothing belongs to me. So if Allah decides one day when I wake up that He wants to take something from me, whether it's a loved one, whether it's a pet, whether it's a car, whether it's materialistic, I can't get mad. I'll be a little bit sad. Yes, you'll be sad. We're only human, right? We're free-willed and we're only human. But you can't get mad because it's all borrowed. Only thing you could do is say, Alhamdulillah, Allah, that you allowed me to enjoy that temporarily at that moment, at the time that I had it, or at the time that I had this person in my life. I actually enjoyed them. I actually enjoyed this object. I actually enjoyed that. Alhamdulillah, thank you. Because it doesn't belong to you. Asalaamu Alaikum and welcome back to my channel. For those of you who are new to my channel, I would like to say welcome to the family. I am Zoya, and here on my channel I like to discuss the facts about Islam along with stories, or mostly of stories about myself. My mission is to try to help end the stereotypes about Islam by sharing the facts and along with my journey and my story within Islam. So if you'd like to hear more about myself, or if you'd like to hear facts about Islam, be sure to click that button down at the bottom that says subscribe and you'll get more videos as such, Insha'Allah. Okay, so first and foremost, I know it seems a little bit weird that my background is totally different. I'm actually out of the state. Going to Canada tomorrow, Insha'Allah. So Alhamdulillah, I'm so happy. I think it's tomorrow or the day after. Either way, this week I will be going to Canada, Insha'Allah. So make dua for me for safe travels and for me to enjoy myself and have a great time there in a different country. It's my first time going out of the country, so Alhamdulillah, I will be vlogging about it and making a video about that as well, Insha'Allah. I hope that I'm not going in and out. I left all of my lights, everything at home, so I'm really trying to freestyle with lamps and stuff. So the quality of this video might not be at its best potential, but I'm trying, so just work with me. But I tried to do something different. I actually tried to go outside and create a beautiful natural nature scenery. However, I forgot I haven't been in nature for so long that I forgot it comes with a lot of different kind of bugs, and I don't do well with bugs. I don't like bugs. But you can see, Alhamdulillah, how beautiful it is out there. If the screen wasn't here, Masha'Allah, it's so beautiful, Masha'Allah. And I wish that I wasn't like with bugs because I definitely would have filmed outside. But Insha'Allah, maybe sometime this week for the next video I'll be able to record outside, Insha'Allah. So to hop right on to this video, basically this video is about hardship and trying to overcome hardship. So we all go through this time where it's like a hard moment, and in Islam, being a Muslim, you have to know that Islam is perfect. We're not perfect, but Islam is perfect. We have to know that Islam is a way of life, you know. So in being Muslim, I'm going to try to tell you some things that I do to overcome hardship. It's not what everybody else do. It's just basically how I overcome it. So the first thing I say to myself when it comes down to hardship is, you know, Allah gives his toughest battles to his strongest servants, his strongest slaves. I feel like when I go through hard times, I feel like, you know, life is not going to be easy. In dunya, you have to get tested. Allah makes sure that He tests you to see your loyalty, to see if you're worth entering Jannah, you know. So you have to try your best to stay strong. You have to look at it as if like, Ya Allah, like Alhamdulillah, that you're giving me the struggle, you're giving me this tough time, because now I can prove myself to show you that I am worthy, I am a great servant, I am a great slave to you. And that's how I kind of look at it, as like, Alhamdulillah, it's a tough time, and at the moment, yes, I do want to vent, yes, I do want to cry, but after you do vent, or after you do cry, make sure you vent to Allah. And after you do cry in your bed, make sure you thank Allah and say Alhamdulillah, because again, Allah gives His toughest battles to His strongest servants, His strongest slaves. So you have to look at it in that perspective of Alhamdulillah, that Allah loves me, that He's actually testing me, and He's actually giving me a tough time to prove to Him how much I love Him. So at that time that we're going through this tough and these horrible time, and that time that we might think that it may be the worst time of our lives, in addition to like just saying, just Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah, always, thanking Allah, you should always call on Allah, like make sure that you're praying, you're prostrating before Him, thanking Him, you're showing Him the appreciation of the test that He is giving to you. And then after you're done with that test and you feel like it's at ease and everything is better, you want to thank Allah again for putting you at ease, and you want to pray and make dua that, Allah, I pray that you're pleased with me. I pray that I overcame that task. I pray that I passed that test, and that you are pleased with me. For the tough times, another thing that I run to when I'm going through something, such as deaths. Let's get into deaths, right? Someone that you have grown up with, someone that you have grown to love, someone that you have been through thick and thin with, a mom, a dad, a sister, a brother, a cousin. It doesn't matter. Love is love, right? And we love each other for the sake of Allah, and we love family members, we love everyone, right? Alhamdulillah. But in time of deaths, some people may question Allah. Some people might say, like, how could you do this? I'm like, just be angry. That's a sign of questioning as well. I like to look at things in life to get over this hardship of death, or anything. Like if a car breaks down, it doesn't have to be death. It could be like if something that you love so dearly, your camera breaks, your car breaks down, anything. Not only do everything happen for a reason, but you have to look at everything like everything is borrowed. Nothing in dunya belongs to you, not even your life. Nothing belongs to you. So at the times of hardship, I like to look at it as if nothing belongs to me. So if Allah decides one day when I wake up that He wants to take something from me, whether it's a loved one, whether it's a pet, whether it's a car, whether it's materialistic, I can't get mad. I'll be a little bit sad. Yes, you'll be sad. We're only human, right? We're free-willed and we're only human. But you can't get mad because it's all borrowed. Only thing you could do is say, Alhamdulillah, Allah, that you allowed me to enjoy that temporarily at that moment, at the time that I had it, or at the time that I had this person in my life. I actually enjoyed them. I actually enjoyed this object. I actually enjoyed it. Alhamdulillah, thank you. Because it doesn't belong to you. How do you get mad at something that you are borrowing? It doesn't belong to you. That's like you going to your friend's house, or your friends come into your house, and then your friend asks, hey, can I hold that belt? And then you give them the belt, and then you ask for it back because it's been 5 days, a month, and you ask for it back, and they get mad. How could you get mad at something that doesn't belong to you? I'm asking for what is mine. I'm asking for it back, right? So that's the same thing with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Our life, other people's lives, our objects, materialistic things do not belong to us. It belongs to Allah. So if He snatches it away from you, it's Alhamdulillah. Thank you for allowing me to enjoy that situation, that person, that object at that time that you allowed me to enjoy it. Alhamdulillah. So I would like to share with you one prophet, alayhi salam, that every time I go through difficulty, every time I go through hardship, every time I'm discontent. Well, I'm not discontent ever since I joined Islam, alhamdulillah. But every time I feel a little bit of disappointment or sadness coming into my life, I always refer back to this one prophet. And I want to share this with you guys so that you can understand and you can relate to this as well, and relate back to this one prophet. And every time that you're going through hardship, you should overcome it. So the prophet that I would like to share with you guys today, Insha'Allah, is Prophet Ayubb alayhi salam. I think I'm saying Ayubb, aka in Christianity they call him Job, Prophet Job alayhi salam. So I hope that I'm saying it correctly, Inshallah. If not, astaghfirullah, please bear mercy on me. But Prophet Ayubb, he was a very wealthy prophet. He was healthy. Everyone loved him. He shared his wealth. He was liked by many. He was known by many. And he was like one of those prophets that, back then they probably said, oh, he popping, But that's who he was. He was a very given person. He was a very wealthy person, a very healthy person. And I bring his story about because of his test. So he was tested numerous times. I think about 4 or 5 times that he was tested. I'll get into it. But in his test, it started when like Shaitan started noticing how Prophet Ayubb alayhi salam was giving out, and everyone basically applauded him. Everyone loved him because of how given he was, how nice he was to people. And Shaitan did not like that at all. So Shaitan basically went on a quest to try to get the Prophet alayhi salam to basically not claim Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to not worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So first Shaitan went to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and basically asked for permission to set out to destroy the Prophet alayhi salam. And destroying him, he wanted to get him to no longer worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, like, that's a great servant. Basically, he said he was a great servant, and he basically gave Shaitan permission to do as he will, to try to see if the Prophet alayhi salam will no longer worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So I'm going to mention about 3 things that Shaitan did to distract the Prophet Ayubb alayhi salam. And that's just to sum it up with those 3, okay? So the first thing that he did to the Prophet alayhi salam was he tried to distract him during prayer. So as the Prophet alayhi salam would pray, Shaitan would whisper in his ear about how great dunya is and the pleasure of dunya and everything that's good within dunya. And that didn't distract the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam at all. At all. I gotta get his name right. I think it's Ayubb. I'm so used to in Christianity, I'm Job, and I'm trying to get into saying it in the Islamic term. So when Shaitan set out to try to distract him during his prayer, the Prophet ﷺ would not budge. He wouldn't break. He was concentrating and he stayed focused at all times. And I can relate to this basically because there were so many times, and there's still to this day, so many times where I'm praying and I'm focused and I'm listening to the words and I see the words in Arabic in my head and I'm trying to get it inside English as well, alhamdulillah. And all of a sudden, something will pop in my head about cooking, or something will pop in my head about work. Like, guys, I will not lie to you. This is something that always happens. Like, I'll be praying and then all of a sudden something that has nothing to do with the prayer, nothing at all, will pop in my head. And it's like, as I'm praying, like, I will prostrate, and then as soon as I get up to do Fatiha again, I will say A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. I will have to keep saying that over before I say Bismillahir, Rahmanir, Rahim, because it's just like, get back, Shaitan, get back. And it shows how this Prophet alayhi salam is going through the same thing, how Shaitan is just whispering in his ear, and I feel like Shaitan is whispering in my ear. Why am I worrying about cooking? Why am I worrying about work? Why am I worrying about marriage? It's like when I pray, it's like a whisper. So, not saying it's Shaitan, but I'm just saying you lose the concentration, basically. The second thing that Shaitan tried to come forward to distract the Prophet Ayubb alayhi salam was when he went to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and he stated that the Prophet alayhi salam is only doing good to satisfy Allah just because he didn't want to lose his wealth. And he asked Allah can he take the wealth away to see if he remains loyal, because what's a man without wealth? And in his head, he felt as if he's only doing this because of his wealth. However, Allah gave him approval, and that's when basically Shaitan burnt all of Prophet Ayubb alayhi salam's crops. He burnt his land, he burnt everything to the point where he had no more. So, and this is the part where I fell in love, because besides of the Prophet alayhi salam getting upset and throwing things and saying, you know what, like Shaitan, and talking to Shaitan and saying, I'm with you and I no longer want to serve Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he actually says, how I felt my entire life, and the things that I say to this day. He stated all those possessions was given from Allah, so it didn't matter when or if he took it back. Alhamdulillah. This is what I mean. Like, when we lose stuff, we start to get upset, we get discouraged, if we can think more like the Prophet ﷺ and just say, like, all of these possessions, it's alhamdulillah, Allah given them to me, but if he take them back, it doesn't matter. You took it back, okay, alhamdulillah for allowing me to have it. So this is what I said with hardship. This is one thing that you can do, and moving forward and still praising Allah during hardship and difficulties. For the third test, Shaitan asked Allah if he can gain permission to kill the Prophet Ayyub's children, and alhamdulillah, Allah gave him the permission, and he basically killed all of the Prophet's alayhi salam's children. And still at that point, the Prophet stood strong. He didn't break. He didn't once say, I will serve the enemy. He still served Allah. He still praised Allah. He still loved and was fearful of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So at this moment, Shaitan was upset. He tried to get him by whispering in his ear. He tried to get him by removing his wealth. He tried to get him because once his wealth started to leave, friends and people that he loved started to leave, so people started to leave him. Then he tried to get him by killing off his offsprings. Then he was just determined, and he was just angry and rage. So then Shaitan comes up with his final plan and say, you know what? What's a man without health, right? He goes to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and he asks, like, may I please infect him with a disease? And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allows him to do it. Alhamdulillah. So he infected the Prophet ﷺ with a disease, and it was a painful disease. It developed boils on his skin, which were very, very painful. And even at the time when the Prophet ﷺ was in pain, hurting, some would say probably on his deathbed, he still kept his faith strong. He still believed in Allah. He never said, Allah, why have you forsaken me? He never questioned. He just kept forward with his faith and believed in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I hope you enjoyed the content of this video. Basically, what I'm trying to explain to you guys is we're going to get tested. If you don't get tested, then you're not a believer. Allah is testing the true believers. And when you are getting tested, it's alhamdulillah. Praise Allah for when you get tested, because that shows you that He cares. That shows you that He's thinking about you. That shows you that He's calling on to His angels, and He's saying, I want that servant to come back to me. I want that servant to come talk to me. Alhamdulillah. Always think Allah at all times, difficulties and hardships. You have to realize that Allah tests us all the time, and during the tough times we must remain with strength. We must keep our faith. We must make more dua, make more salats, pray, because Allah's listening. And Allah sees everything. He's all knower, all seek everything. So we have to remain strong. We're going to get tested. It's a good thing when you get tested. Basically, this sums up this whole video. Alhamdulillah. And that at that moment, this is what I do to overcome my hardship. This is what I do to overcome when I'm disappointed in something. I say, Alhamdulillah, everything is meant to be. Everything is borrowed. And Allah loves me, because He's given me this time. He feels like I'm a good servant. Alhamdulillah. So I would like to finish this up as always, and finish it up, I have to make dua for you and make a prayer for all of us, right? I mean, alhamdulillah. And because I'm in a different scenery, I would like to try something different by reciting Surah Al-Fatiha, Insha'Allah. And again, guys, I'm only a year in, so I'm really, really trying. It might not be at its best, but alhamdulillah, after that I'll make dua for us all, Insha'Allah. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, Rahmanir, Rahim, Maliki Yawmiddin, Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in, Ihdina siratal mustaqim, Siratal ladina an'amta alayhim, Khayril maghdubi alayhim waladdallin. Ameen. Ya Allah, may you bless us all. May you keep us and protect us. May you keep us with our strength and steady fast. May you put our hearts and our minds at ease every day, especially when making salat. May you please guide us. Please protect us from those who seek to harm us. And at times of hardship, Allah, allow us to look at you and look for your help, look for your protection. Allow us, Allah, to thank you at times when we do struggle and you are giving us tests. Please allow us to love each other for the sake of you, Allah. And please, Allah, grant us Jannah. Ameen. Thank you again for supporting me. You guys support me so much. You know, the comments, the emails that I'm getting, and I'm still gonna get back on the podcast. It's just like I said, I'm traveling tomorrow, Insha'Allah. So I'm just excited about that, and I will be making a video about that soon, Insha'Allah. So until next time, I will see you in the next video. Asalaamu Alaikum wa Rahmatullaahi wa Barakātuhu. Bye.